I recorded that last session, but it only recorded the OneNote side and nothing that you saw in Desmos. So it's pretty much a useless recording. So I'll have to find a video online for that. Okay, so first thing we have to do is learn how to draw the normal sine function. Okay, so now we recognize what the transformations are, but now what I want to do is able to draw the transformations using the formulas. But the first thing we need to do is draw the normal sine function. Okay, I usually like to do this first and then build off that. So what I usually do first is I graph my 90s. Sorry, I graph my 0, my 180, and my 360. Now, unfortunately, this isn't beautiful. Okay, as in it had 90 and so on and so forth. For some reason, the graph I tried to make the other day didn't. And when you guys sketch this, I'll do a sketch of it later on, because when you guys sketch on your own, I'm just looking for a sketch of it. So a regular sine function, if we remember kind of what it looks like, it goes up, down, and back to normal. And it kind of switches direction every 90 degrees. Okay? Which makes 0, 180, and 360 the times it hits 0. So I'm going to graph those first. Okay, I'm just going to put dots there. So I'm going to put a dot at 0. I'm going to put a dot at 1. Each one of these is 30. Okay, so that means that's going to be there. Then I'm going to put a dot at 360. So it's here. So each one of these here is 30. Okay, so right now I drew this dot, and this dot. Okay, now if it's a regular one, as in it's a positive there, I know it's going to go up first, then down, up. If I kind of draw it, it's going to go up, middle, down, middle. Okay, so if you kind of think of up, middle, down, middle. So up, middle, down, middle. And these all happen on the 90s. I'm going to put start there. 0, 90, 180, what's that, 270, 360. Okay? So what I usually like to do next is I draw where it's going to be at the highest. So I go 90 out, so 30, 60, 90. And since it's the amplitude here is 1, I'm going to go 1. Then I go here and I go 90 away. 1, 2, 3. I know it's going to go down to 1. So there is my original function. Okay? That's one period of it, one time through. Okay? Does everyone kind of understand how I drew that original one? I'm going to do it every time just because it makes it easier to draw. I find it easier to graph the transformations from it. Okay? I'll worry about Fiona. I'll catch you once we finish this. Might be a thing where you have to do it yourself. What time do you get off work tonight? Type that in there and we'll figure it out. Okay? Tez, you don't? Okay. So we'll keep going through this. Let's look here. Let's go back to my Desmos and get rid of these guys. Let's zoom in on this guy. This is my original function. Okay? If we take a look at it, so it changes direction at every 90 degrees. It goes up, then it starts to go down, right? It crosses here, and it changes again at 90 and changes again at 90, right? If we did all the calculations out here, this is what we would graph and go over and over again. So generally what I graph is I find where it starts and I put a dot there, I go 180 degrees, I put a dot there, and I go 180 degrees, I put a dot there. Because that's what's going to happen. Like even if we look at this one, where's it going to start? It's going to start right there. 180 degrees away, 180 away, we're right here. And 180 away, we're right here. Okay? Then what I do is I take half of this. In between this is 90, and I go up the amplitude. In this case, it's 1. Right? Now, if I were to graph, we'll go through this. So we'll keep building on it. Is it always a difference 9 degrees? Yes. For us right now, yes. If you were to take grade 11 university functions, they'll start playing with the period. But for our period, we're always doing 360 degree period, which makes all these changes in direction at 90 degrees. Okay? So let's go over here. And we're going to start graphing some of these. Okay? Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to graph the parent function because I like, kind of makes sense to me. So there's 0. First thing I'm going to do is 0, 180, and 360. Okay? Then I'm going to go halfway between, which is 90. And I go up 1, 30, 60, 90. Up 1, hit me there. 1, 2, 3, go down there. So there's my parent function. It looks like that. Okay? Nicely drawn. So then, let's look at our new function. And I'm going to write down what's happening here. For every time I need to change it, we're going to adjust my... Oh, we missed one. Well, I'll go back to that one. I'm going to adjust what we're looking at here. So my amplitude here is 1. My horizontal shift is left 60. And my vertical shift is going to go down 2. So I wrote down my steps here of how I graph it. Okay? So the first step I do is I find my starting point by doing my horizontal and my vertical shift. So if I start to do my shift here, let's do orange, a little bigger. If I do my shift, I'm going to go left 60. So remember, these are all 30, so I'm going to go left 60, 1, 2, and then I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2. So there's my dot to start. Okay? Then I look at my amplitude. Actually, I'm not even going to look at my amplitude yet. I'm going to graph, I'm going to put my 180 and 360 down. Okay? So right now I'm at negative 60. Like this spot here is negative 60. Okay?
Wait, I'm not negative 60.
Explain, what do you mean by how did I find that?
Like on the graph.
Oh. All these lines are 30. Okay? So this would be negative 30, negative 60. Right? So what I'm going to do now, which kind of makes sense with yours, is I'm going to graph my 180 and my 360. Okay, so if I count here, 30, so I'm starting from here, right? So that'd be 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. So there's my dot going to go right there. Oops, wrong dot. There's my dot going to go there. Then I'm going to count another 90 to graph my 360 one, right? Because I know it's going to go up, middle, down, middle. So I'm going to graph my middles. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So there's my, for lack of a better term, like my 0, my 180, and my 360 in terms of this curve. Okay? Then I'm going to graph my amplitude. Now my amplitude is 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 90 over. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go up to 1. Then I go here, and I go 90 over, 1, 2, 3, and I go down 1. And there's my new curve. Now, I don't expect you to have it yet. That's why I have lots of examples of what to do here. Okay? So let's go up and do this one. And I'm going to graph my actual one first, because I just like having it. So I go 0, 180, 360. So there's like my middle parts of my graph. This is the parent function I'm doing. I'm doing sine x. Then I go halfway between, 1, 2, 3. And up 1. Then I go to the middle, go 3, 1, 2, 3, go down 1. That being 30, 60, 90 away from there. So there's my parent curve again. There's what I'm kind of building off of. Okay. So let's take a look here. This time, my amplitude's 2. My shift is right 30. I have no vertical shift. So the first thing I do is I find my starting point. Okay? So my starting point is my horizontal and my vertical shift. In this case, my horizontal shift's over 30. I'm going to move over 1. And my horizontal shift doesn't go anywhere. So I'm just going to put my first dot right there. Okay? Does everyone understand how I find where my first dot goes, like where my starting point goes? Can I get a yes or no in chat for that? Anyone else? Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay. Then from the first dot, I mark my end point and my middle point. Okay? It kind of gives me an idea here. Now, I could cheat. I'll do the right way first, then I'll cheat. Okay? So now I need to mark 180 degrees away. So 180, everyone's 30, so I can count 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. Right? Then do the same thing again. Or 6 times 3 is, say, yeah. 6 times 30 is 180, so I need to go 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 6. Now what you could do is recognize that this starting point is 30 degrees to the right. So I could just move everything 30 degrees to the right. As in, I know this one's here, but I know my point is 30 degrees right. I put my dot there. Or if you didn't want to do that, you could count 30. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Jebediah. Now I can't erase it without got it. That was my wrong spot. Right? So I could go to the right, but my amplitude's 2. So I need to make sure, so 30, 60, 90, but my amplitude's 2. So I'm going to go up 2 numbers from here. Okay? Not to the number 2. Don't get that confused. I'm looking for this space here from this space of this space. That's like the worst color ever. Who would ever write with that? You're looking for this space here to be 2. Okay? Then this one here, we go here and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go down the 2 here. And boom, there's our new graph. Okay? What's our level of understanding right now out of 10? Would you put your level of understanding, give me a number of what we're understanding here.
Okay. I say myself 9.5.
Okay, so we're good. Okay. Now, here's a tough one. Now, it kind of makes sense to me using a graph, but you can also, I'll show you, we'll do a sketch of one without a graph as well. Like I have this nice graph here. If you have graph paper at home, Thanks, Tej. Yes, I know, Tej. Zoolander is pretty crazy. How many of you guys, here's the real question, how many of you guys went home and watched Ace Ventura Pet Detective, since I brought that up last week?
Those are the best movies. I love those.
Oh, Tatum's already seen. All right, so let's take a look at our transformations first. Okay, the amplitude is going to be half, or 0.5. Our shift is going to be 30 left, and our vertical shift is going to be up 2. Okay, so make sure you can kind of find those shifts as well. Like, do that. Now, if you were doing this by yourself on a sheet of paper, I would just do this. Okay, and then kind of make up your numbers from there. So I'll do it here and there at the same time. Okay. I'm going to do my parent formula again. So I put a dot at 0, put a dot at 180, put a dot at 360, right here. Then I'm going to go 90 in, go up to 1, go 90 in from here, which would be 270, and go down to 1. Part of the reason I keep doing this is kind of just to reinforce how to graph. So here's our parent formula. Now, let's find my starting point. So my two things I have to do my starting point is go 30 left and up 2. So I go 30 left, then I go up 2. I'm going to put my dot right there. And once I do that, I'm also going to put my middle dots in. So I look here, I recognize that my dot here is 30 back from this one. So I'm going to go to this one, go up, and go 30 backwards. Go to this one, go up, and go 30 backwards. And boom, I've got my middle dots. Now I have to do my 90-degree dots. I'm going up, but my amplitude's only half. So I'm going to go 90 in, 1, 2, 3. But I'm going to go only up half this time. And from here, go 90, 1, 2, 3, and I'll only go down half. There's my new graph. How do we feel? Oh, I forgot to do it up here. I told you I was going to do it up here at the same time. Okay, so what I would do here, I would mark 30. Mark 30 and mark, that'd be negative 30, and mark 2. And make my dot up here. Then, if I was graphing this, I know I need to go 180 this way. So I kind of think, okay, 180 plus negative 30 is 150. So I put a dot here around 150. I need to know I need to go another 180 from 150. That's a 180 equals, what's that? 330. Put a dot here, 330. So I'm going to put a dot here and here. And I know my amplitude's half, so I'd mark a 2.5 and a 1.5. Then I go halfway between them. Put a dot up here, halfway between these two, put a dot down there. A level 4 student would mark this as a 150 plus 90 would be 240. And then 150 minus 90 would be 60. That's if you were doing it just on paper. And I realized I did that really quick. Okay. There's tons available here. So let's do one more here. Then I'll let people go who think they know what they're doing. and go from there. And I'll keep teaching whoever would like more assistance. So, in chat, what's my amplitude on this one? You guys tell me what my amplitude is? -2 is the wrong answer. Two. What's that negative? Oh, negative should be, I should have it something here. It's my fault. My direction. Yeah, I'm going to go down. I didn't put direction on my little list of things. Okay? But I added there. My direction's down. What's my horizontal shift? Can someone tell me that? Can someone tell me my horizontal? Pardon? No. Horizontal. 90 to the right. Right? Land of opposites. Correct. Then my vertical shift is, what's my vertical shift? 1 up. Good. I always like saying up or down there. You could write +1, -1. That'd be a good way to do it as well. Okay? So now, let's graph it. Do you guys want me to put the parent formula on there? Yes or no? Or should we just fire away? Fire away, says Lucas. Okay. So let's find my starting point first. Okay, so my starting dot is going to take into account my vertical and horizontal shifts. That's going to get my starting point. So I'm going to go, now whether you do it horizontal or vertical, it's up to yourself, but make sure you do both. I like to do horizontal then vertical, because that's how you graph things as well. So I'm going to go 90 right, so in my case 30, 60, 90, and 1 up. I'm going to put my dot. Okay. From there, I always put my middle dots. So I'm going to go 180 out. So 30, 60, 90. 1 there, right? I'm going to go 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90. 1 there. So there's my starting, my ending, and my middle spot. Now I need to deal with my amplitude. Okay? So my amplitude's 2. So I'm going to go halfway, so I'm going to go 90 degrees. 1, 2, 3. Now am I going to go up 2 or down 2 for this first one? Which way? Up 2 or down 2? So I'm going to go down 1, down 2. I put my dot there. Then I go 1, 2, 3, and this one's going to be up 2. Okay, since I went down the first time, I got to go up the second time. And there is my graph. Okay. How's our understanding? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I need more instruction / practice. Thumbs up. Good, good. All right, let's take a look at the homework. Make sure I covered everything you need to know. So this has graphing. This is graph these ones. There's something off to your right here that I want you to do as well. Graph these ones as well. I didn't come through there, did it? No, this is kind of state the transformation. So here, I want you to state the transformations and then graph it, okay? Then you have question 12, 13, and there's a couple word questions, 14, 15 you can work on here. Which one I want to do here? Oh no. Let me think here. Do question 13. Do question 13. Only drawing on Alicia's right now. Then you can do these two word questions. Okay? Let me think here. No, that's good. So right now, what I want you to do, before we go, I want you to do your attendance right now and do the make sure you do this attendance because it has a question regarding, oh yeah, stop recording.